Dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Today we will be reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 10 and verse 47. I'll be sharing my screen.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Parimanam Chakalasya Kalpalakshana Vigraham Yata Purastat Vyakyase Padmakalpam Matoshrinu. O King, I shall in due course explain the measurement of time and its gross and subtle features with the specific symptoms of each. But for the present, let me explain unto you the Padmakalpa. Purport: the present duration of a kalpa of Brahma is called the Varaha Kalpa or Sweta Varaha Kalpa, because the incarnation of the Lord as Varaha took place during the creation of Brahma, who was born on the lotus coming out of the abdomen of Vishnu. Therefore, this Varaha Kalpa is also known as the Padma Kalpa, and this is testified by acharyas like Jiva Goswami, as well as Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, in pursuance of the first commentator, Srila Sridhar Swami. So there's no contradiction between the Varaha and the Padma Kalpa of Brahma. Verse 48. Sanaka uvacham yadaho no bhavam sutaham shatra bhagavototamaha chachara tirtani bhuvas takwar bandhun suduskcharam chatajan. Sanaka Rishi, after hearing about the creation, inquired from Sutta Goswami about Vidura, for Sutta Goswami had previously informed him how Vidura left home, leaving aside all his relatives who were very difficult to leave. Purport: the rishis headed by Sanaka were more anxious to know about Vidura, who met Maitreya Rishi while traveling to the pilgrimage sites of the world. Next verse. Shatam Shasaravestasya Sambado Dhyanta Samsmitaha Yavasad Bhagavanstasmai Vittastatvam Uvachaha Pruhinastam Idam Samyam Vidurasya Vichestitam Bandhutvaga Vimattam Cha Yatavagata Van Punaha. Sanaka Rishi said, though you're blocking the translation, I can't see it. Farther down, one more down. There you go. Sanaka Rishi said, let us know, please, what topics were discussed between Vidura and Maitreya, who talked on transcendental subjects, and what was inquired by Vidura and replied by Maitreya. Also, please let us know the reason for Vidura's giving up the connection of his family members and why he again came home. Please let us know also the activities of Vidura while he was in places of pilgrimages. Purport. Sutta Goswami was narrating the topics of the creation and destruction of the material world, but it appears that the rishis headed by Sanaka were more inclined to hear the transcendental subjects which are on a higher level than the physical. There are two classes of men, those, namely, who are too addicted to the gross body and material world, and others on a higher level who are interested more in transcendental knowledge. Srimad Bhagavatam gives facilities to everyone, both to the materialist and to the transcendentalist. By hearing Srimad Bhagavatam in the matter of the Lord's glorious activities, both in the material world and in the transcendental world, men can derive equal benefit. The materialists are more interested in the physical laws and how they are acting, and they see wonders in those physical glamours. Sometimes, due to physical glamours, they forget the glories of the Lord. They should know definitely that physical activities and their wonders are all initiated by the Lord. The rose in the garden gradually takes its shape and color to become beautiful and sweet, not by a blind physical law, although it appears like that. Behind the physical law is the direction of the complete consciousness of the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, things cannot take shape so symmetrically. The artist draws a picture of a road very nicely with all attention and artistic sense, and yet it does not become as perfect as a real rose. If that is a real fact, how can we say that the real rose has taken its shape without intelligence behind the beauty? This sort of conclusion is due to a poor fund of knowledge. One must know from the above description of creation and annihilation that the Supreme Consciousness, being present everywhere, can take care of everything with perfect attention. That is the fact of omnipresence of the Supreme Lord. Persons, still more foolish than the gross materialists, however, claim to be transcendentalists and claim to have such all-pervading consciousness, but offer no proof. Such foolish people cannot know what is going on behind the next wall, yet they falsely proud of possessing the cosmic all-pervading consciousness of the Supreme. For them also, hearing of the Bhagavatam is a great help. It will open their eyes to simply see that claiming the supreme consciousness, one does not become supremely conscious. One has to prove in the physical world that he has such supreme consciousness. The rishis of Naimisharanya, however, were above the gross materialists and the false transcendentalists. And thus they were always anxious to know the real truth in transcendental matters as discussed by authorities. Umigyan timirandasya gyanajana salakaya Chaksu militam yena tasmai shri gurave namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimakti Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaudavani Pacharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Pastyatya De Satarine Vanchakalpatarubhischa Vipa Sindhu Paevacha Ititanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So I'll be back in less than half a minute. So, knowledge is gathered through the senses in different ways. Knowledge that is gathered through this form of sight, or the reception of sight, is limited and also faulty. People sometimes saying seeing is believing, but that is not really correct. There's so many things that we can't see that are right in front of us. Can we see what is in the air? We can't see what's in the air. There are microscopic germs in the air, and you can't even see them. And you can't say they're not there because you can't see them, but they are. Our skin on the body is kept fresh by small little tiny worms that are constantly eating up the bacteria that forms on the skin. You can't see those worms, they're microscopic. If you put a telescope there, you can see them. That's why we know they exist. And so seeing is not believing, or seeing is not the way to understand things. We have to hear. Hearing is more complete, and hearing from the proper authority, or the perfect authority, is the way to achieve perfect knowledge. So here we understand that behind all of creation, the movements of the material energy do act and interact, but behind there is a artist, or there's someone who's making the plan. Otherwise, how could everything be done so symmetrical, so organized? We see how the earth works according to a certain plan. Seasons change, birds fly away at a certain time during the year and go to another place and return to their place after some time. But behind every effect, there is a remote cause which you can't see. Prabhupada uses the example of a rose. One time, Srila Prabhupada was sitting in his room and he was holding a rose and just looking at it, tasting its aroma. One devotee walked in who was an architect, and he sat in front of Prabhupada, and Prabhupada didn't say anything. Prabhupada kept looking at the rose, admiring the rose. And this architect, he was an artist also. He could make beautiful architectural pieces and designs. Prabhupada looked at the rose and then he said to the devotee, he said, "Can you make this?" Obviously, it's not possible. But Krishna can. Krishna, by his inconceivable power, can do anything, and he can make things happen in different places at the same time. That's even more wonderful. Not only is he making something happen, but he's making everything happen, and in a very perfect and artistic way. And that is Krishna. But the foolish materialists, they're interested in the laws of material nature. And they don't go behind trying to think, well, who's the lawmaker? When you have laws, you have someone to make the laws. When you have interaction, there you have to have a system that brings things in together and moves things apart. They say material nature, but that's not an answer. Material nature is just a machine, and it works under the operating capacity of the operator. Just like you turn on your switch in the room and the light goes on. Is the switch the cause of the light? No. The switch is not the cause of the light. Sometimes the light doesn't work and the switch is working, but the light doesn't. So the switch obviously is not the cause of the light. There is the line that connects the switch with the light and the light with the source, which is the powerhouse. So inside the powerhouse, you might say, well, the powerhouse is the source. But that is not even correct, because behind the powerhouse, there's one who is operating the powerhouse. So that those that are operating the powerhouse, or the person operating the powerhouse, is actually the person that's making your light go on. But then again, where is he getting his intelligence to do that? Is he creating his intelligence? No, intelligence is given by the source of intelligence. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, I am the intelligent of the intelligence. When one wants intelligence, if they come to me, I can give them intelligence. So even beyond the person who makes it happen, at least directly, there is the intelligence to make it happen. And then there's the person who gives the intelligence. So we have to give credit to Krishna for everything that goes on, because ultimately behind the scenes he's working with his energies to make everything so nicely, systematically perfect. And therefore, one who can accept or understands that principle can see the beauty of existence, how everything is perfectly arranged, and how everything is nicely designed in such a way that there is no anomalies, there's no inebrities. If we see inebrities and anomalies in the material nature, it is due to the interference of the conditioned souls who try to um, adjust the material energy for their own selfish interest, or interfere with the interest of others by putting their interests first, and then they create havoc, or they create problems, and even they even create suffering. So a devotee aligns themselves with the plan of the Lord, and they can see the plan of the Lord everywhere. There's a story in the Srimad Bhagavatam in the 7th canto, wherein the demons and the devotees were at battle with each other. But on the side of the demon was Mayadanavan. Mayadanavan was a mystic, and he could create so many wonderful things. He was a demon. So what he did, he created this reservoir of water that was full of nectar, that if the demon was killed and his body was still in one piece, you could throw him into the nectar and he would come back alive, not only back, but he would even have more power than he was before he was killed. So this was frustrating the demigods. So they didn't know what to do. They couldn't defeat the demons. So they went to Lord Brahma and explained the situation. Brahman said, don't worry, we'll come up with a solution. So he commissioned Lord Shiva along with himself, and Brahma changed into a cow and Shiva changed into a calf. And then they came wandering up and started to drink the nectar of that fountain. When the demons saw that, they alerted Mayadanavan. But Mayadanavan was not only a mystic, he was also highly intelligent. And he said, there's nothing we can do because this is the plan of the Lord. The plan of the Lord takes supremacy over everything else. So Prabhupada writes that you have your plan and I have my plan, but those plans don't matter. What plan matters is the plan of the Lord. So to align ourselves with the plan of the Lord makes our plan perfect in all respects, because our plan becomes the desire of the Lord, and therefore everything we do is supported by the perfect plan. And what is that plan? plan is to engage in devotional service of the Lord and accept the results of that devotional service as the mercy of the Lord, no matter how the results may come. Then one becomes free from anxiety, develops detachment, and develops real attachment to the activities of devotional service and to Krishna himself. So physical laws are not blind. They happen perfectly by the arrangement of the Lord. And the spiritual energy is conscious of everything that is done in the realm of spirituality. So when we engage in devotional service, we put ourselves under what is called Daivi Shakti, or the spiritual energy, and then we work in line with the plan of the Lord. And therefore, we are always successful. We may have to struggle. What is that struggle? To somehow adapt ourselves to understand the plan of the Lord and use our intelligence how to execute the plan of the Lord, but we can also get the information we need on how to execute the plan of the Lord from the spiritual master who knows the plan of the Lord. The plan of the Lord ultimately is to bring all living entities back to him in loving devotional service. But there are intermediate plans which support the long-range plan, which is the long-range plan is for everyone. The intermediate plans may differ from person to person. That's why there's different instructions to different disciples and devotees according to how best they can make progress in their execution of devotional service. And therefore it becomes personal and specific and given to us by Krishna through the spiritual master. If we work in that way, we are never, we say, in anxiety about the results of the activity, nor are we bewildered about how we should execute our devotional service. Knowing that everything is perfectly arranged by the Lord. So his plan is perfect, and his plan is ultimately for our benefit, obviously. But when we look, going back to the topic here in this particular purport, we look at how everything is arranged, we can see anomalies in the arrangement. Why? Because of the interference of the living entities within the big plan of the Lord. Like one of the plans of the Lord is to live simply and not live gorgeously and depend on so many material situations for our livelihood. That's the plan of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada, when he first came, he was already speaking about how devotees should live, going back to nature, simple living, high thinking. He made that motto. Live simply and think high. In other words, become Krishna conscious by living what we say according to how Krishna lives, living off the land and not living off to the supermarket or living up to some corporation that doesn't care a bit about you, only about what they can get from you. That's all. Now that's Daivi Vanashram, yes. And that is Srila Prabhupada's plan. And it's moving forward slowly, but too slowly, actually. It should have been implemented decades ago, but you might say that plan was sidelined for other plans. And now it's becoming somewhat relevant in terms of the need as the Western civilization, which we so much depend on for our livelihood, is crumbling right in front of our eyes, which is an impetus to move towards the plan of the Lord, which is back home, back to nature. And those who think, well, that's primitive, don't really understand. Actually, it is natural. It's not primitive. And there can be modern amenities in that lifestyle, but the focus is on the dependence on Krishna and the material energy directly, and not indirectly through various types of agencies who are put the money factor foremost and the people factor somewhere down the line. They're not interested. Oh, I was just talking to one doctor today on how the medical profession puts profit over medical care. They know what is the best remedies, but the best remedies are free actually by given by material nature. But because they're into making biggest amount of money, they use other methods to distribute medicine, even though it may kill the patient, which it does in many cases, or make the disease worse, or to have no effect at all, either way. That's a big problem in the world today. It's a super problem. It's probably one of the biggest personal problems that we can't rely on the medical profession to help us. There may be some benefit in that, but it's hard to find that benefit. And therefore, in the Vedas, the Dhanvantari appeared in the 8th canto and delivered the elixir of immortality, which was the science of medicine, which is now known as Ayurveda, of course. And so everything is there, coming from Krishna, coming through scripture, coming through the spiritual master. But we're still very much attached to our convenience. I saw this one little cartoon. It was a cartoon. There was a devastating war, and everything was collapsed. The whole society was crap. And one man, he's walking through all of the rubble of the war, and he's got his television in his hand, and he's looking for a place to plug it in. It's like, it was kind of facetious, but at the same time, it sent a message that, we're so attached to our, the amenities that we have, and we think, how can we live without it? Well, people lived without it for so many years, and they even lived better. So we don't study the past. We just listen to what would the modern day plan makers tell for us is that the way you should live. But then we say, well, even though we want to get out, we can't because we don't see how to get out. But there is a way out. And that is to work together in a communal way to develop community and develop community based on simple living, high thinking. And Srila Prabhupada laid that plan out. I was just listening to some of the memories given by his devotees who were with him in the last days. One devotee was saying, Srila Prabhupada, now that soon you'll be leaving us, do you have any lamentation? Is there any lamentation? Prabhupada said, no lamentation. And then he stopped and he said, actually, I have one lamentation. And the devotees started to guess, well, you haven't finished the Srimad Bhagavatam. Prabhupada said, no. And then they guessed a few more times. And then Prabhupada revealed, my lamentation is I haven't developed Daivi Varnashram or Varnashram. And so that is the unfulfilled desire of Srila Prabhupada, which is the foundation by which devotees can live in a environment and get everything they need and execute their devotional service according to the nature that they've been given by the Supreme Lord. As Krishna says, Chaturvarni Manasrusta Guna Karma Vibhagasaha, that these 4 types of men, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra, were created by me. And through this system of education, one can illuminate and uncover one's what we say natural swadharma or material tendencies. Once that is uncovered, then one can engage those things in the service of the Lord, and that is called not varnashram, but daivi varnashram, spiritual varnashram, where one is serving the Lord according to that. And there is a social system that each of the different varnas work together in a cooperative way to provide everything they need. Because most devotees struggle in Krishna consciousness because they divide their time so much with their dependence on the external energy. They have to work so hard, make some money, provide food, look for jobs, lose jobs, travel this way and that way. And how much time is spent just needlessly just to maintain the body, when that can be done simply and more effectively in an organized society that has Krishna in the center, devotional service as the activity, and a system that complements each person's abilities to serve in different ways in a synchronized way where everything is being covered. There'll be all needs, and there won't even be need for money. The system will be everyone will serve different ways, and all of the service will be provided within the society. And if there's excess in terms of goods, then that can be used for trade. So everything has been given to us, but we have to understand the importance of it and then act to make it happen. And that is, yeah, and no one will be unemployed. That's a very important part of that whole thing. That everyone will have some service to do, and which will align themselves according to their nature. And when you work according to your nature, you actually become creative, and in your services, that means you're always able to make your services even more expansive and more, what we say, developed in different ways. And at the same time, you're more inclined to take up that service because it gives you great happiness. You actually feel happy serving according to your nature. And everyone has a nature. Some of us found our nature already and we're serving that way. But then again, we might say what has already been developed within a society is a loose form of varnashram, which is not really working in a synchronized way to support each other. There are devotees who are working according to their nature, but it's not systemized. It is done in a more loosely organized way, and therefore the support system is not there. And that causes those who are working according to their natures to take up other occupations in order to facilitate their other needs that they may have, rather than having all the needs and facilities, all the resources, everything within the environment you live. Just like there was a statistic in the material world that says, this was done many years ago. What is the basis of happiness? It says the basis of happiness is that one, you don't have any debts. Two, you don't have to travel in order for your occupation. And three, you can eat home-cooked food. Three things. Home-cooked food, no need to travel in order to perform your occupation. And three, no debts. So look around. You'll see people have debts. People are driving in their cars for 50 miles, 100 miles. I'm here in India. Sometimes the roads are so crowded that things just stop. They can't even move. What would take normally 2 hours takes 5 hours because of excess amount of traffic. It's actually quite chaotic when you look at it. It's even in Western countries to some degree. that same problem is there, especially in large cities. Yeah, so we live in a very unnatural way, completely unnatural. And therefore, in order to, we have to go back to Srila Prabhupada's plan for simple living, high thinking, on, as he said, about Daivi Vanashram, and that's a whole system of organization. So the GBC is coming up with their meetings in February, and they have posted a statement that anyone who wants to support or recommend a particular subject that the GBC can put on their agenda for discussion during the meetings, that can be done, but they would need 2 GBC persons to support their statement. So if you're interested, you can check with the GBC and see if you want to offer a topic for discussion. And Vanashram will be one of the topics, because now they have set up a little group of devotees who are working in that way, who are connected with the GBC. So, but we can support that particular topic by emphasizing it. And the more emphasis that it gives, the more it'll be a topic of priority. And it's most important. Okay, so I'll stop there and we can open it up for questions.
Okay, thank you so much, Guru Maharaj. Again, the Varnashram system's importance, and it is must. We all should work for it, definitely. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. If you can, please start your videos so that we can have your darshan. And if you have any questions, please raise your hand or type it in the chat and I can read on your behalf. I think there are some questions in the chat put up by Bhavya Mataji. She says that behind every effect there is a cause. Guru Maharaj, are the material physical law eternal and Krishna the consciousness cause bringing effect, or did Krishna create the physical law? Is a fine tuning.
Did Krishna create the physical laws? Is that the question?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Krishna created everything. Physical laws included. There's nothing he didn't create. The physical laws are the laws of material nature. Krishna says, Maya Dakshena, Prakriti Suyate. Material energy works under my direction. He says, Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo Matat Sarva Pravartante Iti Vatva Bhajanti Mam Buddha Bhava Samanvitaha. I am the source of everything material and spiritual. Everything comes from me. The wise who know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their heart.
And then further up, Mataji says,
You sure it's Bhava Shah? Are you sure it's a lady or a man?
Bhavya name is of Mataji, so I'm sure, I don't know, because there is no picture or.
According to Sri Devi, it's not. She says.
Oh, is it not? Oh, no, sorry.
It's the name of a boy.
Is it?
Even I made a mistake. He said, I'm a Prabhuji. So I had to apologize.
Oh, dear. Sorry, my apologies for that. I'm so sorry. Further up, it said that Guru Maharaj, I have a doubt. Should Ayurveda be taught in eco-village following Daivi Varnashram, or should modern allopathy medicine be used instead?
A combination of both. That way people can choose. Can you unmute him? He's asking.
Oh, okay. I will try and do that.
Or can he unmute himself?
He should be able to.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam.
There we go.
Audible.
Maharaj, I had a question. You said that all the physical laws are made by Krishna, but for example, there is an atomic structure of gold or any other metal. So, is that also created by Krishna, or that information is already eternally existing in Krishna? Because if we say that he created it, then it would also mean that he didn't have that information before its creation. So,
No,
I just had a doubt.
Krishna puts the material energy in place, and the material energy interacts and produces various things, just like gold. And gold is made, you can make gold out of bell metal by mixing mercury with bell metal, you get gold. You can make a diamond out of coal by putting pressure on the diamond. So the laws of material energy are created by Krishna, and the basic ingredients are created by Krishna. Earth, water, fire, air, ether are created by Krishna himself. The interaction of the laws and the elements produce various types of forms and metals, elements, everything. And that is put together by Lord Brahma, who is the secondary creator. But the initial creation or the source of everything comes from Krishna. Everything. But then things interact and produce others. It's like, yeah.
And Maharaj, I had a question on Varnashram. Like, is electricity to be used in Varnashram like through solar panels or something like that?
Well, you're getting into very practical things. That's a matter of opinion and seeing what works the best. You're asking my personal opinion on that. I can't give you a personal opinion on that, but basically people use both. Electricity is also the energy of Krishna. How it's used is more important than where it's used. Yeah, the electricity comes also in this. It's also in there. It's in the cosmos. Electricity is there simply by the cosmological arrangement produces electricity under certain conditions. To harness that energy is what the materialists have done. So all of these energies are created by Krishna. So one is better than the other. I think devotees will have to decide about that one.
Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Okay, good. Thank you for your support.
Thank you, Prabhuji. And sorry, once again, my apologies for saying that. Okay, Bhagwan Chaitanya Prabhu. Hari
Hare
Bol.
Krishna Guru Maharaj, Hari Bol. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to you, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, and all glories to Vaishnavas everywhere. Guru Maharaj, today you talked about how people should do what their nature is. So in the karmic world, in the karmi world, we call that aptitude, and we say somebody is lucky if they can do their aptitude and everything. However, I've seen Prabhupada say that there is something called swarupa. So there is your nature, and swarupa seems to be your true nature. But the swarupa, we don't really talk about it much. We don't. How does that relate to that spiritual concept of aptitude? Relate to our practical things, Maharaj?
You have Sarupa, which is your eternal spiritual nature. You have Swadharma, which is your natural material nature. And you have aptitude, which is something that can be developed. So there's three different categories. They're not all the same. We're talking about Swadharma. That's also natural. But it has to be brought out through education. Because in this age, because it's Kali Yuga, everything is lost. So people's natural inclination for work is forfeited by economic gain. People look for economic gain and they push aside their actual aptitude or their actual swadharma, natural tendency for work, in order to get money. So that becomes the priority, and that's a deviation from from human culture when money becomes the focus. It's a and therefore, and then what Prabhupada set up was a training system to awaken one's natural propensities for service. And that was called Varnashram College, which brings out through education, through evaluation, a person's inclination to serve. And then it's directed towards activity. So Prabhupada wanted that. Unfortunately, that's also part of developing Varnashram, is having a Varnashram college. We've got one going in Mayapur now. It's starting to develop. The building is almost done. I think the building is done. Now we have to set up a whole system of education and invite people to come. That's in. And so there are other places that are trying to do the same thing. We've been a little lax as a society in developing this particular desire of Srila Prabhupada for developing a social system. Because we have a nice spiritual system, but unless
do.
unless you have a social system to support it, then the spiritualism can become like anarchy.
Yes.
Then systematic
Yeah.
service.
Spreads by accident. Yeah.
Well, they say if you actually listen to this, the Brahmins are anarchists,
Mm.
the Kshatriyas are monarchists, the Vaishyas are capitalists, and the Sudras are communists.
Yes, there are broad categories already then. Yes, those who want to.
That's their tendencies.
Yes. Mhm. How would this school work, Maharaj? Would somebody be interviewed and their aptitude decided, then they placed, or they can choose?
The Brahmins in the society would be the teachers, and
Mm.
they would teach all of the other varnas. And based on their teaching, they would set up a system of evaluation to see how one is developing in a certain area. And then based on that evaluation system, then they designate a person accordingly.
I see.
Yeah, right now, nobody knows who they are, what they are.
No, they don't. I mean, the entire country of India became IT professionals suddenly because that's where the money was. Yeah. Yeah.
Even in the spiritual systems, we have a loose form of anarsham. As I mentioned, people are working, but there's no system to support. It's just more or less happening in a very loose way.
Mhm.
And that doesn't mean it's happening completely. Some people are working according to their natures and others are not.
Yeah. Yes, Maharaj.
Yeah.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you,
Hari-
Prabhuji. That was a really nice question.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Sri,
Krishna.
thank you. Hare Krishna. Sri Devi Mataji, please go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Sri Devi is the international traveler. She's been to every continent. And if there was another continent created, she would be there too.
Just send her to the moon.
Ah, yes.
Send her to the moon. She can start her profession on the moon there. There might be some operate on.
She'll preach the moon, the residents in the moon, and then bring them into the earth.
That's and we still love her, although she's not sure what dharma she's in.
I'm
She's
sorry, best Guru Maharaj. I'm only surviving on your mercy over here. And
Don't
India,
don't blame me. That's not my fault.
I'm surviving by the mercy of my God family. Prahlad, Narasimha, Sukhavaha, every one of them praying for me.
Anyway, you're getting closer.
My humble obeisances, Guru Maharaj. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to your divine grace. I am surviving by your mercy, no matter what you say. Anyway, I'll ask my question. As you were speaking on Varnashram Dharma, simple living, high thinking, we know very well that sooner or later the time will come when real life will be in the villages. That's where our devotees will be, that's where our children will be raised, and so on and so on. So, what will happen to the people in the cities? Will they be able to transit to a village lifestyle?
The cities will go on, but not the way they're going, not the prototype you see now. There is cities that are supportive of people, but not the way we live now. Now it's all supportive of economic development and industry or entertainment. It's the city, people go to the cities for entertainment or for jobs, either one.
But will that be at a big price? Because I remember reading that Srila Prabhupada said one day will come when all these cities will collapse and people will be dying by the thousands in the streets.
Yeah, he did say that. You're right. That's true. Yeah. Prabhupada said it. And he gave reasons why these cities would collapse. He gave why the whole Western scheme will collapse. And he gave
because they cannot grow their own food.
It's in my book. I put a QR code in the book. If you scan your phone on that QR code, you can hear Prabhupada explaining. And basically what he says, everything will collapse because it has a false foundation. What is that foundation? Money. Money is not the foundation for culture, for development. Money is a commodity that you can use, but everything evolves around money. Money, money, money. If you get money, then you go for it. Everything is centered around money. Again, people are chasing after money in order so they can live. And there's other people have so much money that they don't even know what to do with it. And then they cause havoc by using it in ways that are detrimental to everyone. Money is not a human quality. It's an asset that can be used only. But it also can become something that can destroy when it's misused or used in a selfish way, which is the majority of how it's being used now. So that's what Prabhupada's statement was based on. Because it's based on money, everything will collapse. And it's collapsing.
I remember as a child hearing stories of how the wealthy kings, when they would come out on procession, especially the Mysore Maharaja, during the Navratri festival, there would be showers of gold coins given to the people. So those who had money would use it in the way it was intended to help others. But now it is simply for self-aggrandizement.
Yeah. Kali Yuga. All bad qualities in this age.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. My obeisances to you.
Thank you, Mataji. That was
That's
a
why
good.
Krishna consciousness is the only solution. Krishna consciousness is a holistic program for restructuring the whole society towards what we say Sanatan Dharma. are eternal religious principles, which include the material principles that are foundation to eternal religious principles. Everything. Prabhupada said, I came to turn the whole society upside down. He didn't come just to give Krishna consciousness in the form of books. He spoke about so many subject matters. You named the subject, he spoke on it.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Gurmat, this reminds me of, Keshava Maharaj's statement that we should remember that we are not the human being on the spiritual journey, but we are the spiritual beings on the human path at the moment. So we should be thinking in that way. We are not thinking in that way, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a very correct statement. Yeah. We're spiritual beings, but we're living in a material world.
Raj, do you want to ask your question?
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. Maharaj, my question is, in your young age, when you identify, if you are able to identify your psychophysical nature, but then there are societal norms and societal pressures. So how does one take that leap of faith to follow their psychophysical nature and not what society is imposing? How does one get that courage? Even if we sometimes identify our psychophysical nature, we are not able to follow it because of the societal pressure.
Well, do you live by societal pressure or do you live by principles? If you give up principles for material convenience, you lose both. So you have to be determined and you have to understand the process and you have to work with that process to fulfill your desires according to how you can best live in this world at the same time practice Krishna conscious. Society's pressures are money. The same thing we're coming back to. Because we want money, we acquiesce to the pressures. And then you say, well, I can't live without money, but we can when we set up a system that is free from exploitation. Now money is used as an exploitive way. Mano Samhita, which is the law books of mankind, created by Manu, who is a manifestation of the religious principles at different times within the history of human culture. It says, as far as business is concerned, they speak about business, that a businessman cannot make more than 25% profit. Whatever profit he makes, he puts it back into the business to expand the business, and he can live on 25%. So if he makes bigger business, then that's 25% greater in terms of the amount he has. But no more now, people make 100%, 200, 500% profit. And they think that's success. That's another form of exploitation. The earth is the property of God to be used to the living entities so they can get everything they need for their livelihood. But now the big corporations have somehow stepped in to squeeze out all of the resources and sell it back to you in different forms in terms of work, terms of goods like that. 87% of all the natural resources are owned by 3 companies. I can name 2 of the 3 companies. I can't name all 3 of them. I forgot the third one. But anyway, I won't name them because we might have some representatives online for these companies. And then I'll get kicked off my Zoom call here. But it's a fact. That statistic is there. 87% of all natural resources are controlled by 3 corporations, which have many smaller corporations as part of it. So it's a giant form of exploitation. That's all. The rich are becoming richer and the poor are becoming poorer. But what is that richness? It's not real wealth. Real wealth is land. If you have land, you have wealth. That's equity. That can be used. If you have animals, that's also equity. That can be used, especially cows. And if you have precious metals, that's also wealth. Diamonds, gold, emeralds, rubies, various types of precious metals, pearls. These are all forms of actual real wealth that's created by nature through the agency of God. It's like ladies, many Indian ladies, when they get married, they get so much jewelry during that time and they keep it. That's good. You keep that jewelry and you'll never be poor. You'll always have that there. The society collapse, you'll always have some equity in the form of your jewelry. Don't sell it off for this paper money, which is just what it is. You can, if you go to Srila Prabhupada's lectures on December 31st, the last day of the year in 1973, Prabhupada did a morning walk conversation with the devotees in Los Angeles. December 31st, Los Angeles, 1973. He talked about wealth. What is real wealth? What is false wealth? What is today's? Yeah, Prabhupada talked about everything. And he's quoting things from Shastra, also from various authoritative sources, and by his own understanding also. Just follow Srila Prabhupada. We don't listen to Prabhupada, that's the problem. And we start speculating about what we should do and what we should not do.
Uh,
So what was your question again? I forgot.
Maharaj, I was asking, how does one get that courage to follow their psychophysical nature and not get into the societal pressure of doing things?
Prabhupada said, when I chant Hare Krishna, I feel fearless. So when you chant Hare Krishna, you become fearless.
Come on, Shivaji Raje. Act according to your real nature. You're a Kshatriya.
Yeah, he's got a Kshatriya name, doesn't he? Shiv Hare. Hare. And he's also Raj, too. That's also a king.
Maharaj, my next question was this only. What is the position of Kshatriya in our society, in present world?
You mean within the secular society or within the Vaishnav society?
Within Vaishnav society.
They're managers. They manage the temples, and they're also fighters. They should know martial arts. And when the temples get threatened or the devotees can threaten them, they're there to protect. We've also established there are many devotees who are trained in martial arts, who are not engaged in any kind of service. I know for sure because I got involved with this directly. But now I found one devotee who was very serious about it. And he's in Mayapur now, and he's setting up a whole system of training other persons in martial arts also. So yeah, they are protectors. Their inclination is to give protection to people. And they're good managers. They know how to manage. They manage temples, they manage yatras, they manage. They're managers. Kshatriyas are managers and they're also protectors. Kshatriya, um, shat means to protect, and triya means from harm. Kshatriya means to protect from harm. They're not aggressors, they're protectors. They don't instigate combat, but they're ready if the innocent. They're meant to protect 5 classes of people in society, which are mentioned in the Bhagavatam as required protection, which are Brahmins, cows, women, children, and old people. These 5 categories of people require protection. And if society doesn't do that, they become delinquent, and the leaders of society become implicated in sinful reactions for failing to protect one or all of these 5. We're killing cows like wholesale. You're wondering why. Prabhupada says so many times, if you just listen, he said, they're trying to stop wars, but they're killing cows at the same time. It's not possible. As long as they're killing cows, wars will go on. They can make all of their plans and all of their programs and all of their, ideas for stopping war. It'll go on as long as they keep killing cows. That's the reaction for killing cows, is war. That's directly mentioned. Even by philanthropists who are not devotees have said the same thing. George Bernard Shaw wrote a poem directly connecting cow killing, mediating to wars. But who's speaking out in favor of the cows? We are. We're doing our best to try to bring cows into a environment where they can live happily and produce and give support to human culture in different ways. Cows are God's gift to man, but society's destroying cows. They're killing babies in the womb. They're killing each other, and they all want peace. It's ridiculous. How can you ask for peace when you're going on killing at the same time? It's completely opposite, not just opposite. It's completely opposite. Yeah. So Krishna consciousness is the solution to these problems, which sets up a system of Varna and Ashram, Daibi Varna Ashram. Once that system is set up, as Prabhupada said, then we can invite the rest of the world to take part. And they will also come looking for occupational employment. And we can use them in our societies to do various services and then gradually teach people on the spiritual level. Prabhupada had a whole outline for how to develop society, along with giving us clear spiritual directions on how to execute devotional service. Prabhupada was on both levels. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. It's already working.
Just have to move it, isn't it, Guru Maharaj? The wheel should move now faster. I
Yeah.
really like that name, Shivaji Raje. Is it all right if we call you that?
I don't mind.
That's a Kshatriya name, Shiva.
Exactly. That will remind him that he's Kshatriya, isn't it, Guru Maharaj?
But he's doing IT, right? That Sudra work.
Oh my God, come on, Raj.
Oh, really? Prabhupada said engineering is sutra work. He said it's just playing with the external energy and manipulating it. That's all.
That's why I'm asking for courage, Maharaj, to work according to my psychophysical nature and not do a Shudra work.
Okay, you just come to Mayapur when I'm there, and we'll get you involved directly, and we'll make sure you get everything you need to be happy and live prosperous.
Wow, go for it. Go for it. That's brilliant. Thank you. Thank you so much, Raj. That was a really nice question. And we got really nice discussion through that. Before I come to you, Sridevi Mata, do you mind if I read one question on the chat by Parijata Mataji? She says, Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. If the Lord remembers us across all cosmic cycles, why do we human find it difficult to remember him, even with the small cycle of our daily lives?
Well, why don't we remember Krishna? Because we're remembering so many other things. That's why.
Mind is filled with junk in it.
The plan of the Kali Yuga is not to preach atheism, but to preach other activities which divert people's attention away from God. You know, we asked that, there was someone asked the chat GPT, if you were the devil, how would you keep people away from God? And it was really nice. And it was long, about 10 minutes. The answer was to create all of these frivolous activities and keep people so busy that they don't have time for God. If you tell people not to worship God, it doesn't work. But if you keep them so busy they have no time for worshiping God, that's more effective.
Especially social medias.
Oh, that's the worst.
True. Hope that helps, Parijat.
Not social media, it's anti-social media.
I know, it is.
So this is Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga means divert people's attention away from God, but that's all.
Hope that
Well,
helps, Parijat Mataji.
recreate spirituality in terms of material gain. That you can do some spiritual activities because then you'll be more rich, you'll have a better family life, you'll be able to do things more effectively. So they market spirituality in the form of success in material life.
That is sad. That is so sad.
That's why Prabhupada said, no illicit sex, no intoxication, no meat eating, no gambling. Bus. They say, oh, you guys are too strict. Yeah, well.
This is not strict. No, that's true. That is true.
Was it Bavash?
Bhavyasha.
Bhavyas.
Mhm.
Bhavya.
Bhavya.
It's Bhavya.
Sorry, is it Bhavya or Bhavya?
Bhavya.
Bhavya. Okay, Bhavya. Bhavya. Not yeah. Yeah, it's yeah, isn't
Yeah.
it? Bhavya.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Bhavya means
Mar-
amazing, isn't it? It's like Bhavya is very
yeah.
how do you explain Bhavya? I know what you mean, but
Bhavya means like vast.
yeah.
Vast.
Yeah. It's not
Unlimited.
only vast, but it is really nice sense. The vast means it's in a really nice sense. It is a huge, nice something.
Okay. So
Maharaj. So sorry.
Okay, go.
Please go ahead and ask your question.
Maharaj, in March, I saw one of your lecture in London. In that, you were explaining like how in ISKCON, very few people know about like the other type of initiations, like the Kshatriya initiation or Vaishya initiation. Like mostly people just know about the Brahminical initiation, which is the second initiation. So in future, like when you establish a farm community, the Varnashram community, will you also give these types of dikshas like Shudra, Vaishya, and Kshatriya diksha to different types of people, like of different modes?
It won't be formalized. It'll be done in a service way. In order to bring that about, you have to have a system of education, as I explained. And then you designate people accordingly, and then they'll work according to their different categories, either as Brahmins, Kshatriyas, or Vaishyas. Sudras also as a support system for the other three. So there's nothing formal, and there's no ceremonies. It's just going through the educational evaluation system to understand clearly how best you can serve, and then also teach these different services, how to worship the deity, how to cook, how to clean, how to fix various types of machines, how to manage, how to fight. All of these are different. These are just a few I named. These are all be taught as educational topics, both practical and philosophical. And Prabhupada said Varnashram College. If you want to know more in detail, there is a lecture given by Prabhupada on March 14th, 1974 in Vrindavan. I think it's a morning walk lecture. It's a discussion on Varnashram, and Prabhupada outlines the whole system. It's a pretty long lecture. It's much longer than he usually speaks, more than an hour. So that's March 14th, 1974. I believe it's a morning walk. I know it's in Vrindavan. And Hridayananda Maharaj is speaking and asking questions, and Srila Prabhupada's explaining the whole system. And that year was the time when Prabhupada really started to emphasize Varnashram. Before he didn't put, he mentioned it, but he didn't put so much emphasis on it. 74, he changed and put a lot of emphasis on it. 76, 77, he really spoke about it a lot. February 14th, 1977, room conversation between Srila Prabhupada, Satsrup Maharaj, and Hari Sari Prabhu on the same topic. And there's other times that Prabhupada spoke on it too. So.
And Maharaj, what about the Ayurvedic doctors? Like they fall in which varna?
Their doctors are Kaviraj, and they, I'm not sure, to be exact, I'm not sure. I think doctors.
Brahmins, Guru Maharaj.
I think so. I was going to say that. Yeah, Brahmins.
Yeah, Brahmins.
Yeah, it's Brahminical. But nothing is done as a franchise. Everything is done as a service.
Sorry, on that topic, Guru Maharaj, in the Devi Varnashram, do we not change our service as required, or is it we have to stick to our nature only?
You saw that. You saw that in the Battle of Kurukshetra. Acharya was a Brahmana, but he took up the activities of a Kshatriya. Karna was a Sudra, but he took up the activities of a Kshatriya. So in emergencies, you can act outside of your varna if it's required, but it's not the norm. The norm is to stay within the alignment of your varna and serve in that way. Emergencies will dictate, a change if it's necessary.
All right, thank you so much. Hope Bhavya, this helps you as well, yeah? Thank you. Yeah, Shri Devi Mataji.
Thank you. I wanted to share, Guru Maharaj, that just recently the winter session at Varnashram College Foundation included a course on martial arts for young boys, I think 7 to 12 years, and they learned the art of fighting with a mace. This is what His Holiness Bhakti Raghav Maharaj said, and this may be interesting to Raj Shiv Hare. They are looking for a Gurukuli leader to train the boys.
Well, someone will have to train the trainers first.
Right. Yes, Guru Maharaj. Just thought I will share that.
Yeah, you have I brought him into Mayapur. He's here. Murari Chaitanya. He's in Mayapur.
Yes, he and his wife have started self-defense classes teaching martial arts.
Yeah, and I've seen him in action. He is amazing.
I think Bhavya should join him as well, isn't it, Bhavya and Rajput?
Sukava should join too.
I've learned martial art, Guru Maharaj. You don't know that.
We are waiting, Sukhavaha.
I've already learned it.
Really, you learned martial arts?
I have.
What do you know? Which kind?
I was up to brown belt level, Guru Maharaj.
In karate?
Yep.
My God, I have to be careful now. Okay, well, and my appreciation for you has just increased. Good. Before we still got 2 more questions. I want to say something. Shakshi, you're there, Shakshi? I can see your name.
Yeah,
Guru Maharaj.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, my humble obeisance.
Yeah, after the class, I wanted to speak to you. Can we exchange phone calls?
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Sure.
I don't have your number. Can you give me can you write your number in the chat and then I'll have it?
Sure, Guru Maharaj.
Guru Maharaj, I can pass on to you if you want me to. I can send you the.
I can send Guru Maharaj's number to
fine.
Sakshi, and Sakshi can call Guru Maharaj.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay, after the class.
I do have Guru Maharaj's number.
Okay, we got Raj again. Raj is there for making a comeback.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, I wanted to ask the leaders of the society, the political leaders, they don't show these Kshatriya qualities, but they still somehow get into the power through elections. So are they Kshatriya, and should
No.
devotee enter into elections?
No.
No.
Entering into the lecture is voting for the person that will do the least amount of harm. And so, but democracy is a feature of Kali Yuga. Monarchy is actually the way that we should organize leadership. Benevolent monarchy, not just monarchy, but monarchy that's in line with what we say dharma. As it was done in early ages, there was what is called Raja Rishis. They were rishis, but they were also kings. And if they were just kings, they were guided by rishis. Brahmins would be guiding the Kshatriyas in their work as Kshatriya. Or some of the rishis, some of the Kshatriyas were also well versed in religious principles. But nowadays, this democracy, people don't know who to elect, and what comes up as candidates is just the same thing each time. People who are don't know how to lead. You study Yudhishthir's leadership. Bhakti Tirtha Swami has written a nice book called Leadership 2. If you read that book, it gives you the principles of real leadership. Leadership means for the people, not simply for your own aggrandizement or your own pecuniary gain. It's for providing whatever people need to live through various agencies. Collecting taxes is also there, but that's part when people will be happy to give taxes when the leadership is qualified. Do you want me to read some stuff for you to give you a little insight?
Yes, sure, sure, Guru Maharaj.
All right, do we have time?
Yeah.
Okay, let me read something here. Okay, this is Prabhupada. He said, Prabhupada, I am very much serious that you all boys and girls, that's us, should expose these Nixons and remove them. There is ample scope for protest in this Sankirtan movement, and you yourself be president. That is my hope for saving this misled mankind from chaos. As the earth thus becomes crowded with corrupt population, who among any of the social classes shows himself to be the strongest will gain political power. That's from Srimad Bhagavatam. Monarchy is better than democracy because if the monarchy is very strong, the regulative principles within the kingdom are upheld very nicely. A responsible monarchy is better than the so-called democratic government in which no one is responsible to mitigate the grievances of the citizens. Of course, whether the system is monarchy or democracy, the same corruption can go on. Thus, both systems fail when leadership is divorced of divine guidance. What the people truly yearn for, whether they know it or not, is the benevolent kingship embodied by Lord Ram. Lord Ram appeared in this world to educate or to place an ideal example of a king, how the king should be. Therefore, when there's good government, the example is given Raj Ram, or Ram Raj. It is the kingdom of Lord Ram because everyone was happy. Everyone, there are so many instances in the life of Lord Ramachandra. These are some statements from Prabhupada, and there's more. If there's a nice article, I'll send it to you. It's called No Kings, The Cry for Raj Ram. Who can I send it to who can distribute it to everybody?
Send it to me, Guru Maharaj. I'll do that.
All right. I send it to Shiv Devi already has a copy of it already.
Okay.
But I'll send it to you also.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you, Guru.
And
Before,
then when you make your email address available, and then people will write to you and you send them the article.
yeah. Sure, Guru Maharaj. Like, we'll do that. Thank you. There's a question in the chat before I go to Bhavya Prabhu's question. Kajal Mataji is asking, I'm sure it is Mataji, please forgive me.
Yes.
Krishna Guru Maharaj, Dandvat Pranam. I'm having one question. I'm traveling right now, so I can type my question. Maharaj, when someone works according to their nature, their creativity flows. Does serving according to one's natural qualities purify the heart the fastest and go deeper in Krishna consciousness journey?
Yeah, when it's engaged in devotional service, yeah,
Okay,
for sure.
good to know that. Okay, hope that helps, Kajal. Thank you for the question. And Bhavya, you can ask your question, please.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, Jagannath Pranam. Maharaj, would you be okay if any of your disciple is into professional martial art like career and they're
Well,
beating people in the ring?
I didn't catch the question or the statement.
I mean, if any of your disciple is in the field of professional mixed martial art, they're like making money out of it. So would you be like okay with that?
Yeah, I have one disciple in the US. He runs a gym and he teaches martial arts to people who apply for it. Him and his brother, they own the gym. Yeah.
Maharaj, I was asking this because I was thinking about it, and I've been training mixed martial arts since 7 years now, and I was just thinking to like apply it in like professionally. I mean, I'm not sure about it, but I was thinking about it.
Well, you should connect with me and I'll see if we can find some service for you.
Yeah.
Really.
Thank you, Guru.
Come and meet me in, where are you now?
Right now, I'm in Gujarat.
Gujarat. I'm in Ujjain, which is not so far away.
Yeah.
So if you want, come and meet me in Ujjain. I'll be here for the next 2 weeks. If you can't do that, then come and see me in Mayapur in December, towards the end of December.
Yes, Maharaj.
Yeah, sound like you have something to offer.
Wow, you go messy, Bhavya. It's so nice to see Gujarati being martial art teacher. Well done.
I'm actually half Gujarati, half South Indian, so
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
You made me and Sridevi Mataji both happy. Don't worry.
Haribol. He's from Dwarka. Must have been a soldier in Krishna's army.
Must be. Okay. Any more questions, dear devotees? If you have, okay. Anyone before we start?
Make sure you put your email
Yeah,
address.
I'm going to put my email address now.
I can send you that thing right now.
Okay.
Okay. Is it Dipti?
Yeah, it's Dipti. I put my address in the chat. Anyone wants the article, please email me and I'll forward it to you.
Okay, you're gonna get the text in about 5 seconds here.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, it is gone.
Okay.
Okay, you got it.
Okay. Will be.
Mhm.
It's not yet come, but it will come. Yeah, it has come. Thank you. I've got it now. Okay, Sridevi Mataji, do you have a question?
Yes, I want to know, Guru Maharaj, we are seeing all these brave Kshatriyas asking all these questions and, contemplating a future as a martial arts teacher and so on. What is the role of Kshatriyanis, ladies who have Kshatriya qualities?
Well, just talk to Murari Chaitanya's wife. She teaches martial arts also. But I don't know if you could do it alone. You would need to do it within a what we call it, a program. You could be one of the teachers. But
I don't know that I can teach martial arts and all that. I was wondering what are the roles? Yes, I understand that's one. What are the various roles that, a Kshatriyani can engage in service to Krishna?
Management. Well, you have your occupation, so you don't have to speculate.
No, I'm not speculating for me. I'm just asking in general.
Okay. Okay, let's go on to some japa.
Yes, I was just going to request Guru Maharaj. You read my mind. Thank you so much. Before we go for japa, thank you so much, Guru Maharaj, for your time. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, His Holiness Chandramauli Swami Maharaj ki jai.
Yeah, somebody has to send me Shakshi's.
Sridevi Mataji is going to send you now, isn't it, Mataji?
Yes, I will send you her number, Guru Maharaj. But I've also sent your number to her and she will call you, but I'll send hers to you.
Okay. Okay, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama. Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare 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 Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.